Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. My name is Gulshad and I am facilitator at Rehan School Islamabad campus. So viewers, हम जब भी आते हैं किसी माया के साथ आते हैं तो आज भी हम माया के साथ आए हैं तो लेट्स स्टार्ट माया.
Hi, what's up?
Hello, how are you, Maya?
I'm doing well, thanks. What's going on with you today?
So my first question is that what is happens from a scientific perspective?
I'm not sure I caught that clearly. Did you say what happens from a scientific perspective? If so, could you tell me what there refers to? I want to make sure I'm following you correctly.
Okay, Maya. My next question is that how do physiologists define happiness?
Ah, got it now. So, from a physiological perspective, happiness is kind of a cascade. When something good happens, a hug, a compliment, a win, your brain releases dopamine, which is a feel-good neurotransmitter. That dopamine buzz signals reward and motivation. Then other players come into play, serotonin for mood regulation, endorphins for that natural high, and even oxytocin, often called the love hormone since it's released during social bonding. The interesting part is these chemicals don't just make you feel good, they actually impact your physical health too, reducing stress hormones, boosting immunity, things like that. It's not just in your head, it's actually changing your body chemistry.
Okay, Maya, nice answer. My next question is that what is the difference between joy and happiness?
There's a real difference, actually. Happiness is more of a general state of well-being, like feeling satisfied with your life as a whole. It can be pretty steady and ongoing. Joy, though, that's way more intense, like a burst of energy and excitement that hits you in the moment. Joy is fleeting, it's tied to something specific happening right now, whereas happiness is broader, more sustainable. Think of happiness as a warm blanket versus joy being like fireworks. What makes you feel joy versus happy?
Okay, nice answer. My next question is that can happiness be measured scientifically?
I didn't quite catch that last part. Did you say, can happiness be my head? Can you clarify what you meant by that?
Okay, my next question is that what are the key components of happiness?
That's a good one. Researchers generally break down happiness into a few main parts: positive emotion, like feeling grateful or excited, engagement, that sense of flow when you're really absorbed in something, relationships, huge for connection, meaning finding purpose in what you do, and accomplishment, feeling like you're actually making progress. It's interesting because they're not all about feeling good in the moment. A lot of it is about having something solid underneath, like purpose or strong relationships, rather than just chasing short-term thrills. Which of those feels most important to you personally? Huge question. Culture shapes happiness a lot more than most people realize. Collectivist cultures, you see it in a lot of Asia, Latin America, Africa, often prioritize happiness through group harmony, fulfilling social roles, and strong family connections. Individualistic cultures, like in North America and Western Europe, tend to focus more on personal achievement and independence. What one culture considers the good life can look totally different from another. Even
Okay,
things like how openly people express happiness vary wildly. What's considered appropriate emotional display is learned, not universal. And that definitely impacts how people experience and talk about their happiness.
okay, Maya. My next question is that is happiness the same for everyone?
Definitely not. Happiness really seems to be subjective. What makes you happy might not do it for someone else at all. Some people find it in creative work, others in community service, some in material comfort, and some in simple routines. Research shows that there's also a range when it comes to how much we naturally default to positive emotions. Some people seem to have a higher baseline level of happiness that's just part of their temperament. It's kind of like fingerprints. Everyone has them, but they're all different. Does that make sense?
Okay, nice answer. My next question is that what is subjective well-being?
Ah, subjective well being. It's basically the scientific way of measuring how happy people feel. It's made up of three parts: life satisfaction, which is your overall sense of contentment; positive affect, meaning how often you experience positive emotions like joy or gratitude; and negative affect, or how often you feel things like sadness or anger. Researchers combine these to get a snapshot of someone's psychological well being from their own perspective. So it's kind of like asking someone, how happy are you with your life right now? But with a more formal measurement system behind it.
Okay, Maya, nice answer. My next question is that how does mindset affect happiness?
Mindset is huge. There's tons of research on this, especially around what Carol Dweck calls growth mindset versus fixed mindset. People with a growth mindset believe their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, and they see challenges as opportunities to learn. They tend to be more resilient and happier because they're not afraid of failure. They see it as part of the process. On the other hand, those with a fixed mindset believe their qualities are stuck, and they're more likely to give up when things get tough. So, really, it's about how you frame challenges and setbacks, see them as growth, and happiness tends to follow. Have you noticed this pattern yourself in how you
Okay.
approach things?
Okay, Maya, nice answer. My next question is that what chemical in the brain are responsible for happiness?
Question. Dopamine, as we touched on earlier, is key for pleasure and motivation. Serotonin helps regulate mood and contributes to feeling calm and stable. Endorphins, their brain's natural painkillers, release during things like exercise and create that runner's high. Oxytocin boosts feelings of bonding and social connection. There's also GABA, which has a calming effect. And norepinephrine plays a role in alertness and motivation. It's not just one, though, it's the whole system working together. When these chemicals are balanced, things just feel right, you know?
Okay, nice answer. Okay, Maya, my next question is that what role does dopamine play in joy?
Hmm. I think I misunderstood your question. Did you say, what role does dopamine play in joy? Or did you
Yes,
ask something else about what world dopamine affects?
yes. Dopamine play in joy.
Okay, got it. Dopamine plays a huge role in enjoyment, basically driving that reward system in your brain. When you experience something pleasurable, tasting good food, reaching a goal, even a positive social interaction, your brain floods with dopamine. It's what makes you want to repeat that experience. So, dopamine is essentially teaching you what brings you joy and reinforcing those behaviors. It's not just about feeling good, though. Dopamine is also crucial for motivation, focus, and learning. So, when people are really engaged in something they love, dopamine is firing up those pathways.
Okay, Maya, nice answer. My next question is that can brain plastically increase happiness?
I think you said, can brain plasticity
Yes,
increase happiness,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Brain plasticity is actually fascinating when it comes to happiness. Basically, your brain isn't fixed, it can change and adapt throughout your life. When you cultivate habits like gratitude, mindfulness, or learn new skills, you're actually rewiring your brain to be more optimistic and resilient. Those repeated thought patterns strengthen neural pathways associated with positive emotions and make it easier to access them in the future. So, yeah, by actively training your brain, you can actually increase your capacity for happiness over time. It's kind of like working out. The more you practice, the stronger it gets.
Okay, Maya.
Have you heard about neuroplasticity before?
No, no. My next question is that how does stress impact the brain's happiness system?
Stress really messes with your brain's happiness system. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol. That's your fight or flight hormone. Chronically high cortisol actually shrinks parts of the brain involved in mood regulation, like the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. It also disrupts the neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, those we just talked about, that contribute to feeling happy. Long term stress can basically make you less sensitive to pleasure, more prone to anxiety and depression, and less able to bounce back from tough times. It's like your brain is trying to protect you from danger, but the constant activation actually ends up backfiring and making it harder to find joy.
Okay, Maya. My next question is that how does sleep affect emotional well-being?
Sleep, sleep and emotional well-being are deeply connected. When you're sleep deprived, your brain has trouble regulating emotions, which can make you more reactive, irritable, and anxious. Lack of sleep also throws off your dopamine levels, reducing the reward you get from everyday activities. Sleep is also when your brain processes and consolidates memories, including emotional ones. So, without enough sleep, you can get stuck ruminating on negative experiences. And chronic sleep loss is linked to higher rates of depression and anxiety. Essentially, sleep is when your brain resets and recalibrates itself emotionally.
Okay, Maya. Nice answer. My next question is that what is positive physiology?
That's a cool concept. Positive physiology basically looks at the physical ways positive emotions and psychological states actually affect your body. We talked about chemicals like dopamine, but it's more than that. Things like regular laughter, gratitude practices, mindfulness, social connection, they all trigger positive physical changes. Things like reduced blood pressure, increased immune function, better cardiovascular health. So it's not just about feeling good, it's about how those feelings actually create tangible benefits in your physical health too. A big part of it
Maya.
is the mind body connection.
Okay,
Brain and
okay, okay.
body
Nice
are
answer.
constant.
My next
I'm
question is
not sure I
that
understood that.
what is emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is pretty simple. It's about being aware of your own emotions and understanding the emotions of others. It includes things like being able to recognize your feelings, manage them constructively, have empathy, build strong relationships, and navigate social situations. People with high EQ tend to be better communicators, more adaptable, and generally more successful in personal and professional relationships. Unlike IQ, which is relatively stable, emotional intelligence is a skill you can actually develop over time.
Okay, Maya, nice answer. My next question is that what is the impact of overthinking on happiness?
Overthinking is basically happiness's enemy. When you get stuck in cycles of worry or analyze everything to death, you're triggering your brain's stress response. This keeps cortisol levels elevated, which makes it harder to sleep, focus, or just experience any peace. Overthinking also tends to focus your attention on what's wrong rather than what's right, which creates negative thought patterns that reinforce themselves over time. It kind of sucks the joy out of the present moment because you're constantly replaying the past or worrying about the future.
Nice answer. Okay, Maya, my next question is that what daily habit boosts happiness?
So many. Gratitude journaling is huge. Writing down a few things you're thankful for shifts your focus to what's good in your life. Mindful meditation, even just 5 or 10 minutes, can reduce stress and help you appreciate the present moment. Connecting with people, having meaningful conversations, or spending quality time with loved ones boosts oxytocin. Exercise is great, gets endorphins going, and clears your head. Learning something new keeps your brain engaged and creates a sense of accomplishment. Acts of kindness actually make you feel good too. It's kind of a win win situation. What sounds doable to add into your routine?
Okay, Maya, nice answer. My next question is that how does meditation support emotional balance?
Meditation basically gives you a buffer zone between your emotions and your reactions. When you meditate regularly, you're training your brain to become more aware of your thoughts and feelings without getting carried away by them. This creates some space to observe emotions without immediately reacting, which builds emotional resilience. Over time, it helps you to calm down your nervous system, reduce reactivity, and develop a sense of inner peace. It's kind of like hitting the pause button on your emotional autopilot so you can respond more mindfully instead of just reacting instinctively. Have you tried meditating before?
Okay, nice to meet you, Maya.
Nice to meet you too. It was good chatting about
Okay,
happiness and well being with you today.
Allah Hafiz,
Take
Maya.
care.
Take care. So, viewers, this was our Maya. So, Allah Hafiz.